Hey everyone, it's Kelly. I'm back today with another spread in my Thursday 3 Life Crafted album. This is the album that I am using to document all of my posts from Instagram, where I list 3 current things that are happening in my life. And I have been using older products from my stash, which I'm having so much fun doing. I am loving going back through these products that I haven't used in a long time or haven't used at all, and it's been a lot of fun. So today I am using, I think it's the Lovely Day collection by Dear Lizzy, and I'm using a pattern paper for my background, and I went ahead and trimmed it down to the size of the page protector. All of these pages in this album are going to be outside the page protector. So now I'm just using one of the page protectors as a template to get the holes punched. So far on all my other spreads that I've created in this album, I have placed my photo on the left-hand side of the spread. So this week I thought I would try mixing it up and put my photo on the right-hand side. It doesn't end up working out. I end up moving it over to the left, and that may be something that I continue to do throughout the album, and I'm fine with that. A little continuity doesn't hurt anything. But as I was going through this collection, I came across this cut apart sheet, and I thought that the pieces from that pattern paper would be great to use as layers behind my photo. So I just went ahead and trimmed all of those pieces down. And right now I'm just playing. I really did not have a concept in mind when I sat down to create this page. I knew I wanted to use this collection, but other than that, that was all I really had planned out. So there's a lot of playing in this video, just trying to figure out how I want to get things arranged. Part of the reason why I decided to move the spread over to the left hand, or the photo over to the left hand side, was that oh hello piece. I wanted to add it as a layer behind my photo, and I thought that the layers just fit better on the left hand side versus the right hand side. So I'm still just trimming things down, just trying to get things sized appropriately for this sized album. So this is the third spread in this album that I've created, and I'm still trying to find my footing when creating in this sized album. I was not a Traveler's Notebook user prior to this, so this is definitely a different format, a different size. And whenever I start to work with a different sized album or a different sized project, it definitely takes me a little while before I'm able to really find a groove and be able to know right off the bat what sized embellishments are going to work without having to do a lot of playing. So if you remember this collection, there are a lot of really cute icons included, including hot air balloons, there's some taxi cabs, there's bunnies, there's foxes, and I decided at first that I just was going to embrace the random, and that I thought that I would maybe add a trio of hot air balloons onto the spread. My journaling has nothing to do with hot air balloons. I just like the colors, I like the shape, the size works really well for this size of a page. And I'm just continuing to play with these. I need to remember to keep room for my journaling. That is one thing that I tend to think about last when I'm creating a scrapbook page. I mentioned this in my last video with Project Life. Journaling is the first thing that's on my mind, but when it comes to creating scrapbook layouts, it's the last. So I'm trying really hard with this album to make sure that I'm leaving enough room to add as much journaling as I need to. So I decided to go a little bit different direction, and now I'm working on maybe creating a vertical design on the right hand side. I grabbed a few stickers from the sticker sheet and I've added them right down the center of the page, but again, it doesn't leave me a whole lot of room for journaling. But I'm just really, to be honest, I was kind of struggling with what to do on that right hand side. I didn't know how big of a title to put on there. I didn't know how much color to add. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off those words, and then I'm going to continue working on the layering on the left hand side. I was going back and forth between a couple different patterns behind my photo. That floral pattern that I have there now was almost too small because my photo is so large, but I didn't want to trim down my photo, so I was just playing with placement. I went back to the embellishments in this collection and pulled out the chipboard sheet, and there's this Live Today piece, and I thought that it worked well. It was large, but it left me enough room for journaling, so I decided to go ahead and go for it. I did go over to my sewing machine and added some stitching to each of those layering pieces behind. And I also did some fussy cutting off camera. Those are florals from one of the 6x6 pattern papers. I just fussy cut out a few of those, and I'm going to add them as embellishments around the spread. And you can also see that I've added my journaling on the right hand side using my We Are Memory Keepers typecast typewriter. I took that scallop border piece over to my sewing machine and added some stitching along that. I do like that pop of black that it brings in. It ties in well with my photo on the left hand side. Since my photo is dark, I have a dark colored sweatshirt on. And one thing that I like to do with these spreads, which I am, when it comes to traditional scrapbooking, I'm a single page spread kind of girl. I just do one layout. I never do double page spreads. And this in my mind is almost like a double page spread. So when I am working on these pages, I try to make sure to incorporate something similar on both sides. So because I was going to add some of those florals on the right hand side around the title, I decided that I needed to bring in some of those florals on the left hand side just to help tie the two pages together. I am using liquid adhesive to adhere everything down. I am going to have all of these pages, as I mentioned before, outside the page protector, so I really need to make sure that everything is going to stay stuck so nothing falls off the pages as I am flipping through the album. I'm going to go ahead and start to add some of these black and white florals, and I really like that look that those florals give this spread. It gives it kind of a graphic look, and they are just so pretty. I love the doodles and how each flower is a little bit different. None of them are exactly the same, so I think that adds a lot of visual interest to the layout. So I'm going to tuck some at above the photo, below the photo, and then on both sides of the title on the right hand side of the spread. I'm also going to add a couple little banner die cuts underneath the photo. I think it says worry less, love more, laugh more, something like that. I can't read what they say on my editing screen here, but I like the color that they bring in, especially that yellow, because that word today has the yellow on it, and I don't really have any yellow anywhere else. It helps bring that color over to the opposite side of the spread. I'm going to use liquid adhesive to adhere down these chipboard pieces. I have never used any of these chipboards, but they did not have much stick left to them, which I think that everyone can kind of agree with that when it comes to chipboard pieces, whether it's alpha stickers or just chipboard thickers in general. They just lose their stickiness after a while. I am being mindful of where the holes are on the spread, so that way I don't cover up those. I don't want to have to punch through these delicate little flowers. That is part of the reason, actually it is the reason why I make sure to punch those holes at the very, very beginning, so that way I don't accidentally adhere something down that's important, or I don't type my journaling where there's going to be the hole. So I always try to make sure to do that first. This little heart came from that same chipboard sheet, and I'm going to add it to the left hand side. I'm also going to pull out some of these puffy stickers. I actually had these puffy stickers in my purge pile, and I went back and grabbed them when I decided to use this collection for this spread because I knew that they would be the perfect size, and I love the little hearts and the little flowers. That is mainly what I'm using here, just to add pops of color. I'm trying to make sure to add them in pretty much the same place on each side of the spread. And when I say that, what I mean is I'm adding it to the same cluster. So each of those fussy cut florals will get a heart and also get a puffy floral piece as well. I wanted to add just a bit more layering to the right hand side of the photo, so I'm just going through some of the die cuts, just trying to find a piece that will work. I originally thought that I would use that ticket, but as I was going through, I found another ticket piece that was black, and I liked that it added another pop of black, another die cut that was black. So I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid adhesive to adhere that down. It's not a huge piece, and the layout would have been completely fine without it there, but I'm really in the mood to just use up as much of my stash as I can. So if it works, I'm going to use it. It's just something that I really want to do this year, is go through and use up as much of my stash as I possibly can. So as I was looking at the spread, I decided that the title looked a little unbalanced. I decided that I wanted to add another one of those fussy cut florals to the left side of today. So I'm going through those puffy stickers as well. I'm going to add another puffy sticker again, just to keep the continuity between all of the clusters that I have on the spread. Once I get that flower added, then the spread is pretty much done. I am going to bring up some still shots at the end. It was hard for me to capture this pink pattern paper well when I was taking photos. So some of the photos, it almost looks like it's white, but I promise it is the pink color. And I do want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please either give it a thumbs up or leave me a comment. I'm not getting a ton of views on these videos. I know it's a newer series, so I plan on doing this at least a couple more weeks to see if it gains a little bit more momentum. If it doesn't, I may discontinue the series and just do a flip through maybe halfway through the year so you can see the progress that I've made. I do plan on still taking photos and posting to Instagram if I discontinue the series. So if you do enjoy these pages, make sure you're following me over there so that way you can still see them if I stop making the videos. But as always, I want to thank you again so much for watching, and I will be back again soon with a new project and new video.